Hello, everybody. I am live. I should go live on Instagram as well, but why not? Let's do Instagram as well. What's today's title? How to use the paradigm shift in 2024. Let me make sure I'm on the right account here. Why not just go live, man? Go live everywhere. So, how to use, can't even spell while I'm live. How to use the paradigm shift in 2024. Oh, okay. There we go. Let's just go live there. Update details. We are live. Did that fast, right? Did that super fast. We are live in Instagram as well. So how to use the paradigm shift in 2024. I'm going to share a little bit of this video and we're going to tap into a little bit what paradigm is and some valuable information. I'm just going to talk a little bit about some pointers as well, just kind of share with you a little bit. Bringing Instagram along was like a last minute thought. I trusted my intuition and I was like, why not say hello to everybody? Hey, what's up? Fayez, Mahila, what's up? Sorry if I mispronounce. But yeah, so how to use the paradigm shift in 2024. So we're going to basically touch on a few things. It's not going to be a long video. And I noticed I am on 2 other platforms I normally don't do. So shout out to my music community. Of course, anybody can utilize this information in their life. Doesn't matter what type of business you have. Doesn't matter what you're doing. Growth is universal, right? We all want to grow, be more, do more, and have more, and experience a better life and better lifestyle. So I'm here to help. Thank you for those that are sending out messages, congratulating me on a few milestones. And believe it or not, the Science of Getting Rich Summit is happening right now. So if you want the link to access that, go for it. I can send you the link. And also in the description here on YouTube, Facebook page, and my private Facebook, my public now, Facebook profile. There's a link in the description for you to just contact me and set up a time to see if I can help you with any of this information. But most importantly, to connect more and to see if I can help you. You know, it's not about just me being on video. It's about you tapping in with this material to improve your life, to improve the income that you're making, to improve where you're going and have a direction. So very, very important. So let me share a little bit. Instagram, you'll probably just hear some audio, or I'll figure out how to turn the camera around. I used to do that, and we'll see if I can do that. So anyway, let me share a little bit, and let me know if you have any trouble hearing. There we go. There we go. All right, so you should be able to see my screen and legendary Bob Proctor as well. And let me, yeah, we can keep it in that view so you can see me. And I'll mute myself so there's like no undertones or whatever. All right, so where are we? All right, enjoy, take notes, and let's talk about it.
I'm going to share some information with you that it could change the direction of your life like night and day. And when I say that, I want you to really stop and take a look at your life. Take an honest look at your life. I was thinking just before I start to make this, we have actually been conditioned to kid with ourselves, to lie to ourselves, to not really take an honest look at the results we're getting. I want you to take a real honest look at your results. And when you look at them, ask yourself, am I living the way I really want to live? You see, most people aren't. One of the first questions I ask a person that comes to work with me, I want to know what's the most they've ever earned in a year. Now, I really don't care what the answer is, but I want to know what the answer is. Because you see, if a person says the most they've ever earned in a year is $50,000, I know where their mind is programmed. If they tell me the most they've ever earned is $250,000, I know where they're programmed. And then I want to find out what they want. And I know then what has to shift because their mind is programmed. And if they're really going to live the way they want to live, they've got to change.
There is electromagnetic energy in that pyramid between
Change the program. And if they don't change the program, then nothing really happens. Now, what I'm going to share with you, I've been studying for a long time. I'm going to put some PowerPoint slides right up here. And on those PowerPoints, I'm going to tell you a story. And it's a story about me, and it's a story about you, and it's a story about what we're capable of doing, what we're really capable of doing. You see, I started to study this information 54 years ago. In fact, last October, I started my 55th year of studying this. Now, that's longer than probably many of you are living, maybe longer than your parents have been living. But I've studied it every day. I've become absolutely fascinated with this information. And as I go through this, I think you're going to be fascinated with it. Now, I didn't always have this information. Today, I have a company that operates all over the world. I earn millions of dollars. I have some wonderful friends. And I live an interesting life. When I wake up in the morning, I know that I'm going to be doing what I love all day long, and I'm going to be extremely well paid for it. But you know, it wasn't always like that. I have to go back to 1961. And in 1961, a man gave me this book. And that's when everything in my life started to change. The book is Think and Grow Rich. And there was a huge shift in the direction of my life. Now, I'm not going to be on here long, maybe, I don't know, an hour. But in that hour, I'm going to suggest that you could change everything in your life. You see, today can be the turning point in your life by making a simple decision. But if you don't make decisions, you're going to stay right where you are. We have to make decisions. If we're going to change, we have to change the direction that we're going. And when we change the direction we're going, then we want to make sure we're going in the right direction. Because if we're not, we're going to either go backwards or we're going to stay where we are. Now, I had something pretty interesting happen. When I committed to study this material every day and follow proven direction, the change that took place was enormous. And you know, it can be for you. Now, there's one thing that you absolutely require if you're going to make a big change, and that's discipline. See, without discipline, nothing happens. And I found that discipline is the ability to give ourselves a command and then follow it. Now, I'm going to suggest as we go through this, and I suggest you make some decisions. Don't look at somebody else and say, what are you going to do? You see, what they're going to do has absolutely nothing to do with where you're going. It's what are you going to do? That's what really makes the difference. Now, I've worked with tens of thousands of people all over the world, and I've watched some absolutely phenomenal changes take place. I've watched kids go from a C&D average to an honors mark almost overnight. I would have difficulty counting all the people that have gone from ordinary incomes to multi-million dollars. You see, earning money is not difficult. It's just that hardly anyone knows how to do it. And for good reason. We can go right to our school system and no one ever teaches us how to earn money. And for good reason, they don't know how to earn money. Now, is earning money all this is about? Absolutely not. This is about living the way you want to live. Now, I've been traveling all over the world. I started to study this, and great change took place. And then I want to know why I changed. And so I started to study from a different perspective. I want to know what happened to me, which I'll talk again about in a moment. And so I began to study. And then when I figured it out, got the dots to connect, all I wanted to do was share it with other people. And everywhere I've gone around the world, I have found that people are essentially the same. Now, I've worked in China, I've worked in South America, I've worked in Australia, New Zealand, all over Asia, across all over North America, and certainly all over Europe. And people are essentially the same. Doesn't matter where you go. I don't care if you're in Shanghai, in Kosovo, or New York City. I have found that there's three things. You know, frequently after a seminar, I'll sit around and I'll chat with some of the people, maybe that were late leaving the room, and I'll call them aside and I'll say, what do you really want? And I found that not everybody wants to be really wealthy, but what they do want, they want to eliminate any financial concerns. In other words, if they want to get a new car, they want to be able to get it. If they want to take a trip, they want to be able to take the trip. Or if they see a sweater or a dress or a suit they'd like, they want to be able to buy it. They don't want to be wondering, am I going to have enough to pay the mortgage? They want to eliminate financial concerns. The second thing they want is they want to wake up in the morning and be excited about how they're going to spend their day. See, a lot of people are tied up in traffic, going to a job they don't like, working for somebody that is possibly even incompetent. You got to spend your days doing what you absolutely love to do. And the third thing, they want to mix with people who are really upbeat, who are enthusiastic, people that are getting becoming very creatively productive. Now, that is a pretty good way to live. You don't have any financial concerns. You spend your days doing what you love with people who are upbeat and creatively productive. That's a good way to live. That's the way I live today, but it wasn't always like that. No, it sure wasn't. I had a man sit down with me, and he did essentially what I'm going to do with you right now. He said, Bob, I want you to take a look at the results you're getting in your life. Really take a look at the results. And then he got me to think. He said, how do results happen, Bob? How do they actually happen? And I didn't know. He says, do results just happen? Well, of course, results don't just happen. And this is where the man approached me back in 1961. He said, I want to magnify the results that you're getting in your life. Really take a close look at it. Because he said people are just falling short in a couple of areas. And he pointed out that we're only limited by weakness of attention and poverty of imagination. In other words, we got to stay focused and we've got to use our imagination to build the kind of world we really want. Now, I think that's what you want to do. That's what I want to do. I don't think you were looking for something to do when you sat down to watch this. You see, I believe that you do want to improve the quality of your life. And a man named Ray Stanford sat down with me a long time ago in 1961. And he put an R on a sheet of paper. And then he put an H. He said, Bob, that's happiness. He said, that represents health. And that represents wealth. Now, he said, I want you to look at those three areas of your life. Are you getting what you want to get? Are you doing what you want to do? He said, I'm going to tell you something about results. Results always tell the truth. By their fruits, you'll know them. Results always tell the truth. You can kid yourself all over the place if you want, but look at the results. I have people, they'll tell me how much they know about this or about that. Take a look at the results. The results tell the truth. If you're playing golf, the scorecard tells the truth. You see? Now think. Your bank account tells the truth. Your sales tell the truth. Your position in life, the health of your body. And he looked at all these areas and he said, do you think I'm a healthy guy? And I said, yeah, you seem pretty healthy to me. He said, have you ever seen me sick? I said, no. He said,
why are you not investing in tax liens? No, seriously. Why are you not investing into one of the...
have you ever seen me broke? No. You think I'm a happy guy? And I said, yeah. I mean, he was a healthy guy. Happy. Always had a roll of money on him. Well, he said, you know something? You're the one of the most miserable people I've ever met. And I was. And he said, you're always sick. And he said, you're always broke. Now, he was being kind. I was earning $4,000 a year at the time. But look at this. I owed $6,000. That is not a good position to be in. You see, if I had taken every cent I earned for 18 months and paid debts, I would have just broken even. It was an impossible situation. He said, Bob, why don't you change your results? Do you know something? I honestly don't believe that ever entered my mind. I really don't. You say, well, it must have. No, I don't think it did. I think I got up in the morning and I just went to work. I did whatever I was doing and hoping things would get better, but never sitting down and talking to someone that really knew how to make it happen. If you want to fly a plane, you don't go to a barber and ask them, how do you get the plane off the ground? If you want to learn how to dance, you don't go to a mechanic. You go to a damn good dancer. It doesn't matter what you want to do. If you're going to do something, go to someone who has demonstrated results. Now, this guy had demonstrated he was happy, he was healthy, and he was wealthy. And he said, do you ever read anything? And I said, no, I can't read. Now, that wasn't true. I could, not well, but I could. And that's when he introduced me to this book, Think and Grow Rich. And he said, Bob, if you do exactly what I tell you, and you study this book and do exactly what the author tells you, he said, everything in your life will change. Now, he said, the man that wrote this book, Napoleon Hill, spent his whole life putting this together. It contains the best thinking of over 500 of the world's most successful people. Listen, I've been reading this one now since 1961. Now, think about it. That's a long time. He said he spent his whole life writing this. He said, I think it would be a very prudent move on your part if you spent your life trying to understand and apply it. Now, I don't know why, but I decided I would. Now, let me explain where I was starting from. I told you I was earning $4,000 and I owed $6,000. See? I had 2 months high school. 2 months high school. That was my formal education. I had never had a half-decent job. I just bounced from one job to another, in the bar, working in a bar, in the Navy, out of the Navy, working in factories. I've never had a half-decent job. Now, I had every reason why I couldn't win. He said, Bob, there are reasons why you can't. You've got to quit thinking of those. You got to start thinking of how you can. He said, do exactly what I tell you. And so, you know something? I decided I would. 1 year later, I was earning $175,000. My life changed like night and day. You say, well, what were you doing? I was cleaning offices. And then I took it over $1 million. I started cleaning one office. I would do anything honest to earn money. I was earning about $100 a week. And I got an office to clean where I would wash the floor twice a month. And I got $30. Then I got another office, $65 a month. Kirby's Construction. Now I'm up to an extra $100 a month. Do you know in less than 5 years, I was cleaning offices in Toronto, Montreal, Boston, Cleveland, Atlanta, and London, England. Went right through the roof. Now, if you had asked me what I was doing, I couldn't tell you. I would say I'm cleaning offices. I'm reading Think and Grow Rich. But you know, a lot of people were cleaning offices. They weren't doing what I was doing. A lot of people had read Think and Grow Rich. They weren't doing what I was doing. Now, I was trying to figure out how the heck did this happen? See, I had been raised to believe if you're going to earn a lot of money, you're going to be really smart. Well, I knew I wasn't that smart, but I was earning a lot of money. I was raised to believe if you're going to have a good job, you have to have a good formal education. I didn't have a good formal education. I didn't have a good job. I owned the whole company. And so I started to study.
All right. Sorry about that. You couldn't hear me. All right. So I figured I'll share a little bit of that, to kind of tap in a little bit about Bob's story, but also how he was just getting into how he shifted, basically earning, I think it was $4,000 a year at the time and owing $6,000. So, him going from earning 4,000 to over 100 and whatever it was, 175,000, I believe. That is quite a jump. And how did he do that? He was explaining a little bit of his study, right? But also how he got into the cleaning business, and also how he met somebody that basically wanted the best for him and showed him direction of reading Think and Grow Rich. But it's not only just a reading of it. There's a lot of things, outside of just the reading happened and internally as well. So let me just share a few things that Bob talked about there, just to kind of tie it in and close up this live here. So he talked about making decisions. And that really speaks to me, because if we don't make a decision every day that we're going to do a certain thing, like for instance, our minds are so cluttered with thoughts. It's constant, right? 60 to 90,000 thoughts a day. And how many of those are productive or positive? So making a decision is one of the most valuable things in life. Now, if you make a decision not to do something, you made a decision. If you prolong an activity, you're making a decision not to do it. So sometimes we try to manipulate our own selves to define that we made a decision, but actually you haven't made a decision. So you made a decision that you're not going to make a decision, if you will. So you can go left, you can go right. You can get out of bed, or you can stay in bed. You can hit your snooze button, or you can't, or you're not, if you have that luxury. That's funny. So making decisions, like making a decision to click the link in the description and say, hey, Jamel, I want to talk about something that spoke to me in this video. Or, hey, Jamel, I want to, see what you got going on, man, and see if this could help me. Or, hey, Jamel, I like when, you said this one thing, or when Bob said this one thing, right? So making decisions shape our very results. And we'll talk about results in a second. So he also talked about discipline. Giving yourself a command and follow it. Wow. How many times have we said we're going to do something and we just didn't do it? You wake up, you're excited. You say, I'm going to do this today. Day goes by, another hour goes by, another hour goes by, and you just don't do it. Why is that happening? This is big stuff here. So discipline, there was somebody once said, discipline, look at it in a different way, because a lot of us see discipline as a negative thing. See it as self-love. Seeing discipline as self-love, meaning you're loving yourself to a greater version of you. Now, when you have discipline, that is a precursor to consistency. So discipline basically needs to happen every day, because especially with new things, new habits, and new behavior that you're going to have, you have to discipline yourself each day. Otherwise, you'll go back to your old self and your results will never change. So discipline is so important. Now, attention and imagination. Bob brushed on this very briefly. He talked about attention to detail. So basically, you're being aware of what you're doing every day, what you're doing with your time. A lot of people I speak to say they don't have time. Now, if you keep announcing that you don't have time and you also want to change and you want things to be better for your lifestyle, there's a contradiction there, right? It's not that we don't have time, we're just seeing it as we don't. So you can't manage time, but you can manage activities and also your perception, your thoughts. So if you're seeing it as lack, I don't have, you'll forever won't have. It's whether you're going to make the decision to make time for yourself. Very, very powerful, right? So the attention to detail is basically attention to self, awareness of your thoughts and your actions, your activities and your habits. So your imagination is one of my favorites. You know, I always love talking about the imagination. The imagination basically takes you out of wherever you are. We're out of your current circumstances, whatever you think that's holding you back, whatever time that you think something will happen, whatever you think, how could that happen? I always wanted that, but how can I do that? You're letting yourself go of all of that. How, why, whatever. Let go of that and use your imagination. Your imagination is key because it can take you anywhere, anytime. And you have this gift and you can develop it even more. That is the key to changing your results, is utilizing your gift, imagination, right? So having the attention of what you're aware of, but in combination of using your imagination every day, it's amazing. So results, Bob talked about, your results are the fruit of your labor. So look around you. Results always tell the truth. He talked about, how much did you make this year? Oh, I made 120,000, or I made 50,000, or I made 200,000. I made 500,000 this year. Well, I made my first million. Whatever amount that you're making with your businesses or your traditional employment, whatever you're doing, it's a reflection of you. The amount of money that you make is a reflection of you. And a lot of people get a little sensitive with income and money. That's fine. I know where that comes from, but it's basically your mental conditioning. But your results, where you live, the car you drive, the clothes you wear, the time freedom that you have for you and your family, the type of job you have, the income you make, the income you don't make, all of it is a result. The result is a reflection of oneself. So your results will always tell you where you are in your life and what's happening internally, right? So results tell the truth of what's happening inside your mind, your thoughts, the essence of who you are, right? So, and last but not least, he talked about HHW, which is happy, health, and wealth. So that was a measurement of oneself. How happy are you? How happy have you been so far this summer, this year? You can kind of look at how happy you are, on a consistent basis. Being not unhappy for so long, you're just perpetuating a cycle. Now, health, health-wise, how are we doing health-wise? Are you at the weight that you want? Do you feel energetic? Have you been doing regular checkups or whatever? Are you at the weight that you want? Is your cardio where you want? Your stamina? Are you eating healthy? Are you sleeping well? Are you doing positive activities that contribute to your health and well-being? And last but not least, wealth. We talked a lot about wealth. Money, like I said, is basically a reflection of how you see yourself. Now, you want to make more money, you will have to change I wouldn't say as a person, but internally, your mind would change, the essence of who you are. Your perception would change, and you'll change your focus, attention on where you want to go and what you want to achieve financially. So very, very, very powerful. That's a measurement of results. HHW, happiness, health, and wealth. And, you can really look at your own life and see where you're at in those categories. So before I forget, reach out to me if anything, really spoke to you here, or if it helped you. And feel free to drop a comment, like, or whatever. I'm always happy to hear or see engagement. But most importantly, I'm here to help. I'm always here to help. I've been blessed with this material, blessed to do this professionally. And I shared something, I don't know where it was, on a few different platforms, on my core intentions, 20 more people to help this year. And, all it takes is you making a decision just to reach out to talk to me. And so to see if I can help and see where you're at and see where you want to go. Sometimes we get stuck and we need an outside mind, an outside assistance to really see a different perception. I needed that. I needed someone to see my greatness from the outside and remind me of it, right? We all do. It's all right. So anyway, blessings, everybody. Look forward to talking with you. Love y'all. Appreciate the support, but you got to step up for yourself, right? Change is inevitable, but personal growth is a choice. So make the choice, and spend that little bit of time to really, really tap in and see where you're at. And that way you'll have direction where you're going. Blessings, everybody. See you next time.